Welcome on Business TV live show. Today I'm very happy to present you one of our main keynote speakers in this year's Central Eastern Europe Entrepreneurship Summit in Bucharest, Attila Turos. Welcome from the World Economic Forum. Please present yourself, where you're coming from, why you are living at the moment in Switzerland, and what you're doing, your professional role, please.
Yes, thank you, Urs. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much to the organizers for the invitation. It's been a fantastic day so far on speaking on various panels. So my role, Urs, currently at the World Economic Forum is to lead the forum's work on the circular economy. The forum's been involved in this space for about 3 years now. Starting out with a partnership with the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, who are quite the champions of the cause. We've worked together on a project called Project Mainstream. Mainstream sought to find and identify bottlenecks in the system in resource efficiency through various materials. We looked at paper, we looked at plastics, we looked at intelligent assets. There's a brilliant report out called The New Plastics Economy. You can find it online. It was recently mentioned by President Obama in Washington, D.C. During Oceans Week. The key, I think one of the key buzzwords I would take away from this report is that Dave MacArthur last year at Davos mentioned that by year 2050, there will be more plastic in the sea than fish. Yeah. And this is a shocking wake-up call to a world that, one, has a serious issue managing its waste, managing its resources, and keeping in mind that natural resources, raw material, are finite. So through the circular economy, there's actually a real opportunity to keep material use that's already in the system continually looping through the system, so that we now have resource security. We also can improve risk management for companies. We can add to the bottom line for companies. This is good for countries' GDPs. This is great for climate, mitigating climate change, preserving the environment, and of course all the positive social elements involved with all of these.
When I see the Klaus Schwab's presentations about the fourth industrial revolution, circular economy, and this project of circular economy is a main project. So what are the goals of this huge initiative you're leading now?
So essentially, we look at the circular economy as a solution to various economic, social, and environmental problems. Again, this is the triple bottom line. It has economic benefits, it has environmental benefits, and it has social benefits. And of course, through the fourth industrial revolution, through all the new disruptive technologies that have emerged, the possibility of accelerating the transition from the linear economy to the circular one. So basically going from take, make, waste to take, make, make is incredibly timely now, through technology, through the sharing economy, through the business cases that are actually showing that this is a profitable business model, through the European Commission and its work in this space. Last December they released the framework. There are all sorts of financing mechanisms already publicly available to enhance the transition from the linear to the circular economy. So it's really a tipping point now for this space, and we see our role as the forum, as the international organization for public-private partnership, to play a key role in bringing the global stakeholders into this space who can accelerate this transition.
I want to go more into the deep of this. You just mentioned it. I had the chance and the pleasure last year getting invited by the manufacturing companies in UK, and I spoke with people of Dell about their individual circular economy and how they are doing it. Can you give us some practical outcome-oriented information of different clients, what they are doing, what their focus is in circular economy versus another company maybe?
Of course. Again, there are a number of business models, circular business models. I think traditionally it's been looked at from a waste management point of view. Like, how much of the material can we...
Maybe start to show us, because we are greenhorns in that, start to show us, to describe why and how linear economy is going to circular economy, or what are the details?
Sure. So again, I think that the industries and businesses that have realized the value of a circular business model are looking at, again, the triple bottom line. So it is actually profitable. It's highly profitable because you can actually ensure your access to resources, right? So you don't rely on the commodities market, which fluctuates and then prices fluctuate, but by keeping track of your material and keeping your material basically owned by yourself, you ensure your prices.
Okay.
So that would just be a very broad description. Yeah. But there are opportunities for all along the value chain for various companies, various industries. You know, I think moving away from recycling in upcycling and downcycling of products, we might also say that refurbishment of products has become a very good business. According to some recent numbers from Accenture strategy, by 2030, this market space will actually be valued at about $4.5 trillion. So that's the size of the pie. Some innovators, some ahead of the curve thinkers have already gotten on board and are doing very well. There are some big machine manufacturers that now actually make more money through refurbished machines than they did from new ones. And of course, offering the same warranty as they would offer on a new one, giving the customer a price break, but with the same assurances.
Yeah.
You can see this in bulldozers and tractors. You can see this in medical scanning devices. Speaking of medical scanning devices, some companies are actually already offering products as a service. You can think of lighting that's being offered as a service. A perfect example is the airport, the Schiphol Airport. So there's a lot of opportunity there. Of course, there's also opportunities in recycling textiles. There are some clothing manufacturers that are now using 30% recycled cotton combined with 70% regular cotton, natural source cotton, and offering the same quality material. So again, closing the loop just a little bit on that. So these are just some business examples that have.
I liked it. And when I spoke with Dell, they showed me that in all details, and then I learned that they are now having new repair departments, and where they are collecting the old products and repairing them, refreshing them, updating them. Totally new ways.
Absolutely, and tech companies have a lot of opportunity of reclaiming very valuable material. I mean, think of all the precious metals that are in mobile devices.
Yeah.
If those end up in a dump, they're gone forever. But if that material can somehow be reclaimed, and one of the ways tech companies are looking at reclaiming is offering product as a service. So you're no longer selling your phone and your pad as an item that leaves ownership and then God only knows where it ends up.
Yeah.
But now you lease this product out. At the end of life, it comes back to you. You can try to refurbish it or cycle it into another product.
Yeah.
or
I like that, but I would be very, very provocative now here when I see, on the other hand, for instance, smartphone technology. The companies are selling us, the market, every year a new type of smartphone, and they are not only having a new smartphone with new outer dimensions or new design, they also implement new technology. So they are really making big major changes from one year to the other year. And you just have bought your smartphone, and now maybe you understand the functions of the smartphone since 2 months because you learned. We are all learning organisms. Please compare that with circular economy and with the needs for the future.
Well, this is exactly the point I'm trying to make, is that companies will continue to be able to innovate and creating new products, but instead of selling that product and losing track of the plastic and the precious metal that's in that product, they gain it back. So essentially, innovation will not stop. the revenues will not stop. In fact, there's a good chance that profits could increase because now, and you have a steady market because you are leasing your product. You're giving it to somebody who's loyal to your brand, to your product, and this is all of a sudden now a sustainable circular product that is no longer polluting the environment, that is no longer requires raw material to build it. So basically, the phone you lend out for a year or two,
Yeah.
you get it back and you build a new phone from
Very
it.
good.
And
I like that. So I think the former old companies of repair, when I think to the shoe companies or to other companies, they are now reinstalled again in a new direction, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. And strangely enough, even in textiles, so I gave the example of recycled cotton, but there's also, there are some players out there now that are leasing clothes.
Wow.
So you can lease your jeans for as long as you wish to wear them, and then you return them. And so that company
Very
actually
good.
keeps track of that raw
So
material.
it's really a part of shared economy now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So the sharing economy is a big part. So again, between recycling and upcycling and downcycling and,
Wow.
and managing waste, both technical waste and biomass. I mean, biomass is also a very good example where we can use the biocycles to loop in the nutrients and the other valuable elements that are good for agribusiness, for example.
Wow. When you say that, it sounds so easy, and it sounds so clear, and there's no condition, and we are already doing that. But is this future thoughts or projects, or still on the research phase, or is that already the truth? Is that already done? Do also already companies have that? What's the situation?
So I think, as with most things and most new things, there are always innovators. There are those who do it first, and then everybody else follows. The good news is that the innovators have been doing it for a good few years now,
Wow.
and everyone else is starting to follow. And essentially, by building this global platform for circular stakeholders at the Economic Forum, we can bring this knowledge to other stakeholders, other businesses, other countries, so that this uptake happens much quicker, so that we have speed and scale in the transition. Yeah.
And what I like on the World Economic Forum is, and I'm asking you as well to present that a little bit from your side as a key figure in this project, as lead of circular economy project. Your internationalization strategy, your work with international nations, with international companies, how you are having that under your coat, or is this a partnership initiative? Do you are inviting companies or researchers from companies to you, or how everything is going on, and where you are located, where you are doing all these big things and important things for our future?
Yes, well, the World Economic Forum is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. And basically around this topic in particular, we're building a global leadership panel of CEOs, government leaders, international organizations leaders, academic institutions, and civil society leaders who will continue to spread the good word on this, but also be our strategic leaders. So when we meet in Davos in January 2017, we will have created a clear framework on how this accelerator program will actually work. So essentially, from the Davos leadership, through the companies that will be there, through the governments that will be there, there will also be delegates of these institutions who will action items in countries, in communities, through public-private partnerships, through B2B partnerships, and essentially collaborating with communities, with the local economies, etc. So that's the vision for this program for the next few years. And get back to us in a couple of years, and we'll report back on our success.
I'm learning every day at the moment more about the activities and the organization of the World Economic Forum. And I'm astonished. First, I, as many others, thought Davos, that's the World Economic Forum. Now, since several months, some years, I know that they are situated in Geneva, of course. I'm reading what Klaus Schwab and other main figures are writing and are presenting on TED Talks and so. and I like that. And several people know that this is important, essential, unique, and we need that to develop a sustainable development for the future. But now I've learned this week at Business Days as well, and before, that they are also situated in New York, that there is a World Economic Forum New York, USA.
Yes, absolutely. So we do have physical locations in Geneva, New York, San Francisco, Tokyo, and Beijing.
Wow.
So these are our physical locations, but we also have a global online platform through which we can virtually connect our communities. And of course, Davos, our flagship event, is of course world renowned. But aside from Davos, we have an annual meeting in Africa, we have an annual meeting in China,
wow.
we have an annual meeting in India, in the MENA region.
So you go into the regional markets?
Regional spaces, because it's really not just market based, it's also policy based. So we work with world governments, we work with civil society, so we work from the highest level of leadership from Davos all the way down to local communities through our Global Shapers program, who are thousands and thousands of young people around the world that are working to improve their communities.
Wow.
So it's actually, I think perhaps we should do a bit better marketing to explain to the world that...
And I think I like that. Everybody, I think, I don't know one person who is not behind the World Economic Forum in Davos, but that they are not only speaking about something and having good and very theoretically visions together with other politicians, that they have an own big research team, specialists like you, who are really knowing from what they are speaking, and that you are working and networking together with specialists from companies. That is new for me, and I like that, really. I really like that. You don't have a fan base, I think.
I'm sure I will after today. Yeah. But yes, I think that's precisely right. I think there is this perception that the forum just brings together global leaders and does some good thinking and talking in Davos about what needs to happen to improve the state of the world. But of course, aside from that, the forum is very heavily involved in actioning items. We had a great program. Still have a great program called Grow Africa, which was initiated with the G7 countries, President Obama, and the World Economic Forum to accelerate investment in African agriculture.
Wow.
This was launched about 3 years ago. There were, already the partnership committed $10 billion into investing in Africa. Within 2 years, $2 billion have already been spent. So these are actual outcome-based projects, programs that have a clear target. The same as accelerating the circular economy. We have very clear targets on what we want to achieve by when, and for very important reasons. Again,
very good. I like that, and I like that you are here as well, because this dissemination of these ideas are very important for entrepreneurs. And here we at the Central Eastern Europe Entrepreneurship Summit of the year, having 1,500 entrepreneurs in our area now, and all of them, when they are building up startups or kick-offs or spin-offs, developments, when they are creating new projects, they want to go into the right way, into the right direction, and not in an old-fashioned direction, and then they has to change. So I like that, really.
Yeah. Shortly said, leapfrog.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. In the OECD countries, there's been a lot learned through the past, 50 and 100 years through the traditional linear economy, through industrialization. Yeah. A lot has been achieved. A lot of advancement in healthcare, in reducing infant-child mortality, maternal mortality, poverty reduction. Human rights, etc. I mean, there has a lot been achieved through industrialization and the linear economy, but the reality is now that again our resources are limited, and if we don't manage them properly, we'll use them up, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Then we move to Mars.
Yeah. No, I really like that, and I see that more and more companies want to go in this direction. And we have here now companies from all over the Eastern and Central European area, but we have also here now the first entrepreneurs from Africa who came alongside and wants to learn with other colleagues. So the learning aspect of everything, of learning organisms, creating peers, and I think is very important for the future.
No, absolutely, and I would say that emerging economies, middle income countries, can actually take a lot of lessons learned from almost fully developed economies to not make the same mistakes. Yeah. So a lot of the practices that have been unsustainable or not green or quite frankly expensive, these lessons learned can already be applied in the middle income economies, right, or emerging economies. So essentially leapfrogging the linear economy strictly into the circular one has massive financial implications, risk implications, etc. So it is important forums like business days to of course learn alongside the World Economic Forum and what we've done in other international institutions. Again, in this digital age, it's very easy to transfer this knowledge, and it's very important also to connect face to face so that we can transfer these experiences and the basis of knowledge.
I have a last question because of our limit of our time. When I now have the chance to have you as a lead of this huge project and important project of circular economy of the World Economic Forum here, I of course ask you straight on, is there a recent development? Is there something new? Can you give us some news who are very, very, I say, very, very new? What are the newest developments at the moment in the project? What you have? Are there some changes of the project pathway, or did you have some special outcomes now already, or what you are disseminating, which direction you can say us where is going to?
So we just mentioned that this new platform that we're designing called the Accelerating the Circular Economy will officially be launched at Europe. It will involve 9 regional hubs, which will be action platforms, as I mentioned before. 9 global hubs, which will be action platforms for governments and companies and all stakeholders to collaborate to facilitate transitions here. I would also say that keep an eye on the 4th Industrial Revolution and the implications of technology in this space. And look for more big things to come out early next year.
Okay, will do. So very many thanks for your coming. You were a very main speaker in the panels, and everybody is looking to the voice of World Economic Forum and of the experts who are speaking about that. And yes, all the best for the rest of business days.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here, and thank you for the invitation, and happy to contribute.
Many thanks.